Oh yeah. Okay. So this is the Hollywood story structure. So I put this together. It's called The Heroes of All Ages. So what I want to go over with you is, like I mentioned, structure that can be adapted to different kinds of stories. So feature films, TV shows, short films, plays. This structure is universal. And so, but just a little bit about me. So I live full-time in Los Angeles, and I'm currently the head writer on a show called Pupstruction for Disney Juniors for kids. And it's an animated show. I also co-created a show called CoComelon Lane. It's this is one of the characters here. It's a very popular kids show on Netflix. And I've also written on a number of other animated shows for different companies, mostly a lot of Netflix and Disney. And this is the CoComelon Lane. And so some of the examples today, I'll show you some clips from this so you could see. But I always get questions about what it's like at Disney. And so just for fun, I put in some photographs so you could see some of the offices here, different things. A lot of history on the walls, like early drawings, different things like that. And so here's a couple examples of the shows I've worked on. So here's T.O.T.S, and we'll see some clips of that today. Pupstruction, Dewdrop Diaries, it's a Netflix show. And Stretch Armstrong, this is for like older kids. And then CoComelon Lane and Thomas the Train, so for like preschool.
My son just watched this.
Okay.
Thomas.
Yeah, so it's a very famous character.
Yeah, it's very popular in China. And my older son, I have two sons. My older son just, ever since he was 2 years old, he started to watch Disney cartoons.
Oh, great. Okay, good.
So my husband and I just watched some, animated future movies with him.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, well, this is going to be great. So I wanted to ask you if you've heard of the hero's journey as a structure. No. Or any of these books. These are
I bought that one.
Save the Cat?
Yeah, but I haven't read it yet.
Okay, so usually these are like the most famous books. Like people mostly have heard of like one or two of these. And so the hero's journey is a way to structure your stories. So it's a hero's journey, and that's something, it's like think of it as like a tool that you could use to help you write better stories. And so it comes with many different forms. Like this was the Hero with 1,000 Faces, the writer's journey, Save the Cat. They all talk about something very similar. So Save the Cat is very similar to the hero's journey. And the reason is it's the most popular story structure used in Hollywood is the hero's journey. And so we use it all the time at Netflix and Disney. And it looks something like this. So there's 12 steps in the hero's journey. And the reason that it matters is because it is a way to show the growth of a hero, starting from the beginning to the end, and what does that look like in between, and those really important movie moments or moments in a play where the character grows and struggles and everything. The hero's journey has like 12 different steps laid out over a story that shows you the total growth of a hero. So we'll go deeper into this with some examples, but as like a summary, there's 12 steps. And so it starts with the ordinary world, and that's where the hero is. You show their everyday life, their life at home, what they do every day, just setting up who they are. And then comes the call to adventure, where something shakes up their routine and they get pulled into a new direction.
Yeah.
But the third step is called the refusal of the call, where fear or doubt kicks in and they say no. They don't want to go on the adventure.
Yeah.
And the reason a hero says no is because deep down, they know that the adventure is going to change them. And so we don't like change. You know, it's scary, it's hard.
Yeah.
And so at first the hero says, no, not me.
Yeah.
But that's why they need a mentor. So step 4. So someone who offers them wisdom or guidance is the mentor.
Yeah.
And what they do is they boost the confidence of the hero so they can take that first step on their adventure.
Yeah.
And that's typically act 2 of a story. It's called crossing the threshold. So they step into the new world, that unfamiliar world.
Yeah.
And now there's no going back. This is the beginning of their adventure. But because they're in an unknown world, they're going to get tested, make friends, and make enemies. So this is like almost like the middle of a story, right? They learn who they can trust. They might gain new skills and face small challenges. Because those small challenges helps get them ready for the big challenge in the end, the finale, right? And so eventually they encounter what we call the approach to the innermost cave, where they prepare for the biggest challenge. They're coming up with a plan. And then comes the ordeal, where they confront their deepest fear or intense struggle. So typically the ordeal is like the hardest part of a story for the hero. But after going through that, they get some sort of reward. So step 9, where they get something of value, like wisdom or power, because it's time for the road back, where they begin their journey home, but they experience some sort of resurrection, where they emerge stronger and transformed, like the best version of themselves. And so when they return back to the ordinary world, they bring back with them what's called the return with the elixir. So they bring back something valuable to share with everyone else that makes the world a better place. So the hero's journey is, you start the hero in their ordinary world. They go on this adventure, and by going through this struggle, they make the world a better place. And that's the hero's journey, right? They leave their home and they go back home, but they're changed. And so what I wanted to show you today are some examples of like a famous movie of the hero's journey, and then how you could use the same hero's journey for kids animation. So it could be different stories. So and the reason it works like that is because it reflects universal themes of growth and transformation. So it's what it feels like to be human, and that's why so many people around the world can relate to it. It's not about genre or culture. It's about being human, and so it can touch everybody. And that's why it's a very powerful tool to use to write stories. So we're going to look at a couple examples and go a little deeper into this. So are you familiar with the American film Star Wars? The original film?
Not very.
Not very. What about Harry Potter?
I just watched a couple of the first one.
Okay, so Harry Potter. So you're more familiar with that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so so what I would like to do is, let's see here. So since Harry Potter is fresh in your mind, like to look at the first movie and each of the 12 steps.
Yeah.
And see what you think, if you agree. So first step is the ordinary world.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see Harry, and he's living a very difficult life. He's a very boring life. He lives under the stairs, right?
Yeah.
And he's a part of the family, but he's an outsider. They don't like him, right? And that's his life. That's his everyday life.
Yeah.
So then comes the call to adventure. So he receives a letter from Hogwarts, the magical school, saying you're invited to come. So that's the call to adventure. But of course, there's the refusal. Step 3. So Harry expresses reluctance to accept his identity as a wizard because he's afraid of the unknown and what it would mean for his future. So they're telling him, you're a wizard. And he's saying, I don't know about that. I'm not so sure. So he's refusing. He's afraid, right?
Yeah.
And so once the hero does that, they need a mentor to help them.
Yeah.
And that is Hagrid here.
Yeah.
So Hagrid comes on Harry's birthday and introduces him into the world of magic and really his true identity within him.
Yeah.
And so he takes him to this place, Diagon Alley. And as Harry gains more knowledge and supplies, and his mentor helps him get ready, his doubts about leaving the ordinary world start to go away. So as the mentor helps him, he feels more confident in taking that first step.
Yeah.
And that's crossing the threshold.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like a lot of times in movies, the crossing the threshold will be a character leaving and going to a new place. So like here, Harry boards the Hogwarts Express at platform 9 3/4. And this train literally takes him to Hogwarts, this magical world.
Yeah.
So it's taking the hero and moving them far away.
Yeah.
And so when you're in an unfamiliar place, you get tested, you make enemies, and you make friends. So here, these are the classic friends that Harry makes, Ron and Hermione. But he also encounters some enemies, like the school bully, Draco Malfoy's kind of mean to him, right?
Yeah.
So he's now, experiencing life in this whole new way. But he's also making enemies, but also being tested, because he's practicing magic. So he has this special power, and he's practicing. So then they need some sort of plan to deal with the supervillain, because they learn that someone is trying to steal the Sorcerer's Stone. So Harry, with his allies, Ron and Hermione, decide to go after it, and they encounter this Fluffy, the three-headed dog, and other magical obstacles. So they learn of the Sorcerer's Stone, which is very powerful, and that someone wants to get it. And that's the villain. Because if they get it, then, they're going to have all the power, and that's going to be the end of their world. And so now they go after it. So after they have a plan, it's always about the ordeal. So the ordeal is, remember, the hardest part usually for a hero, or the most intense struggle. So for Harry is when he confronts Professor Quirrell, who's possessed by Voldemort, the villain. In that final room in front of the mirror, that magical mirror, and it's a dangerous encounter that tests his courage. So he's being tested now as a hero. And what happens? He gets a reward. The mirror grants Harry the Sorcerer's Stone because he doesn't want it for selfish reasons. Harry's a protector, he's not a destroyer. And so he secures the stone and prevents the villain Voldemort from having it. So having this stone symbolizes Harry's worthiness and growth as a hero. Because remember, in the beginning, he was reluctant to say, I'm a wizard, and now he's protecting the most powerful stone in the world. But on the road back, so he's injured after that encounter, and he's hospitalized. And Professor Dumbledore visits him and gives him a sense of closure and an understanding of his mother's protection. So he's learning more about his past. And this leads to the resurrection. So this is the strongest emergence of the hero. It's their truest self. They're reinvented, they're resurrected. So here, Harry's understanding of his mother's love as a protective power gives him a new awareness of his strength and importance in the magical world. So he's really fully accepted his identity as a wizard.
Yeah.
The more he learns about his past, the more he accepts who he is.
Yeah.
So now the final step, the return with the elixir. So the school year ends and Harry returns to the ordinary world. The family, the Dursleys. He carries the confidence and knowledge from his time at Hogwarts, eagerly awaiting his return to the magical world. So we know after this adventure that he's going home, but he's not the same person as when he left home.
Yeah.
And so that's the hero's journey in Harry Potter. Because at the end of it, you know the world is a better place because Harry is a powerful wizard. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about that so far?
Yeah, I think it's very clear. Yeah.
Great. Great. Okay. And so I wanted to, use another example here. So this one is from T.O.T.S. And I'd like to play an episode. Here, let's see. So it's 11 minutes long.
Yeah.
And since you wouldn't be familiar with this, I'd like to show you an episode. Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, I have seen the steps in the hero's journey.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Taking risks and learn new skills.
Yes. Okay. So, great. Okay, so the ordinary world. So do you remember what that was in the episode?
The lying on the beach.
Yeah. And so what did you think their like everyday life was? Like Pip and Freddy, the main characters, their everyday life.
It's very slow paced. Yeah.
Yes.
Very comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No pressure at all.
Right. Yeah. Well, the comfortable is a great word because sometimes the ordinary life is exactly like that.
Yeah.
And so so every episode of T.O.T.S is they love being in the nursery playing with babies, and so they deliver a different baby every episode. And so here, it's Sandy, the sea turtle.
Yeah.
And because it's a beach, they dressed it up to look like the beach,
Yeah.
But really it's just playing with babies is their ordinary world.
Yeah.
And then the call to adventure. Did you think that you saw that?
They need to deliver the baby to
So it's interesting because remember the call to adventure usually comes right before the refusal. So even though they got called to deliver the baby, it seems like that's the call to adventure, but usually they say no. And they said yes, they're going to deliver the baby. So actually the call to adventure here is when Freddy gets invited to.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I think that's a Star Wars ringtone. Is it a droid?
I'm not sure. I just think it's so funny.
That's Star Wars. That's so funny. So the call to adventure, again, is something that pulls the hero, but they say no.
Yeah.
And so here is when Freddie lands in the water and he does that crazy land in the beach. And then this guy, Belly Billy, says, "Oh, you must be a great surfer. You should join the surf contest." And he says no.
Yeah.
He says, so he thinks he's great. He invites him.
Yeah.
So the refusal is actually, he goes, "No, I don't know how to surf." He doesn't. He's like, no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But Freddie refuses. So it's not until Pip, his best friend, makes it clear that Sandy, the baby, really wants the trophy. Because she's like, surf, and she wants that trophy.
Yeah.
He goes, "Okay, I'll do it for her."
Yeah.
So that shows he's a selfless hero. He's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for her. But he's not ready to start yet because he needs a mentor.
Yeah.
Because remember, he doesn't know how to surf.
Yeah.
So he needs to learn.
The turtle.
Yes. Yeah. So her grandma says she's wise and she's already giving him advice.
Yeah.
She says, it's like we say in Coconut Cove, when in doubt, paddle out. So we know that she's going to help him.
Yeah.
And she's already giving him some advice, like, just go for it. And so his confidence goes up. And then he's like, okay. And he goes out to the water.
Yeah.
So remember in Harry Potter, crossing the threshold was leaving on the train to Hogwarts, the new world, right?
Yeah.
So here, the crossing the threshold, the new world is the ocean because he doesn't know how to surf.
Yeah.
So he's not leaving to, another part of the world. The world is the ocean. He doesn't know the ocean and surfing. That's new to him.
Yeah.
So he grabs the surfboard and officially joins the competition. So once a hero crosses the threshold, they can't turn back. So now, remember, the penguin, Belly Billy, introduces all the surfers, and he introduces Freddie.
Yeah.
So he can't say no now. He's in.
Yeah.
He's in. So the unknown, unfamiliar world is the ocean, and he can't back out. So now that the hero is in a new place, they get tested, they make friends, and make enemies. So it's pretty clear that the enemy is this guy, because he's the best, and everyone thinks he's going to win. And so the test are Freddie keeps trying and falling, falling. And his friends are Pip, Sandy, and Grandma, who's the mentor, cheering him on, right? And so Freddie can't even balance on his board, and it doesn't look like he's going to win. We don't see how he can win. But he has a mentor. So this is the approach where you put a plan. How are you going to approach it? You need a plan. And so he gets trained by his mentor. So it's clear that if Freddie's going to win the contest, he's going to need a new approach or a new plan on how to surf. And so his mentor trains him to balance properly so he'll stop falling. So for a problem like this, for a kid's show, it's like saying he doesn't know how to surf is okay, but if you're trying to fix it, you need to be very clear on what the problem is. So Freddie's problem is he can't balance. He's falling. And
very
a kid,
specific.
Exactly, and a kid can understand. So we show him trying to balance on different things. I think he's falling.
Recently, a friend of mine, he is an American professor. He's now teaching in a university in Shandong province. And she assigned homework for her student to write a novel about maybe 10 pages, a very short one. And but her students just have very large goals. Maybe the hero wants to save the whole world. And she just asked me to help her to tell the students to be more specific. Because they just want to save the world. That's her problem.
See, that's really interesting because saving the world is great, but in the hero's journey, It's really about making the world a better place. So saving the world is fine, but like in movies like we'll see at the end of here how a hero can still be heroic without saving the world. Yeah, it could be smaller, but still very heroic.
But in most students' eye, heroes should be very powerful.
Yes.
Yeah, they can always beat the enemies, the villains.
Right, but heroes can be any age, and as long as the challenge is appropriate to the hero. Yeah. So like in Harry Potter, he grows to be a very powerful wizard. Yeah. And he faces off against the big villain, and he is saving the world. Yeah. But in here, it's Freddie is trying to learn to surf and give a trophy to a baby. Yeah. And it's still a hero.
Yeah, because many students just look at the Chinese translation of the word hero, and they think it's hero is like big. Superman.
Yes. Yeah. So after he's training to balance the ordeal, now the ordeal is typically a big struggle for the hero, a very hard struggle. Yeah. So we see Freddie gets training, he goes back out there, he does a trick, and he gets first place. Yeah. And then Sunburn gets first place back. Yeah. So then Freddie says, no problem, I'll go back out there again. Yeah. And he picks up his surfboard, and it's broken. That's the worst thing that could happen to our hero. Yeah. Because it's a surf contest, and if you don't have a surfboard, you can't win. Yeah. So that's the worst thing for this kind of story, right? Yeah. So now what is he going to do? Yeah. Well, remember, Freddie's growth as a hero is about him becoming the best surfer. Yeah. So after the ordeal, the hero gets a reward. Yeah. For going through something so hard, they get a little reward, a little something, a little boost. So here, the hero gains something, and Freddie's reminded by his mentor that a surfer and his surfboard are like best friends. So his reward is a piece of wisdom or information, and he goes, wait a minute, best friend?
Yeah, and I think this solution is really smart. Yeah. Because, just now I was thinking, how can he get a new surfboard?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so it gives him an idea. Wait, best friend? Yeah. So the road back. So now, Freddie uses his best friend, Pip, as a surfboard. Yeah. And even though this is really silly, it demonstrates that Freddie has fully embraced his mentor's teachings. Yeah. So, she's giving him advice, and he goes, "You're right." And so now he's like ready to go back out there and give it one more chance. Yeah.
And I think it's just like Harry's ending. It's very surprising. Yeah. No one can guess.
Right.
Guess the solution.
Exactly. So he goes, and they do what? They do this crazy trick together, and then the resurrection, he wins. Yeah. So he doesn't just win. He won because he fully transformed into this great surfer, the best surfer. Yeah. So that's the resurrection, where the hero is a new best version of themselves. Yeah. And so Freddie went from not wanting to even do it to training to then fully embracing it and winning. Yeah. So that's his transformation. So his resurrection. So he defeats the enemy, Sunburn, and he gets the trophy. But the story's not over yet because he didn't win for himself. Yeah. He won for the baby. So the last step, the return with the elixir, remember, this is about the world is now a better place. And for this story, he keeps his promise and he gives the trophy to the baby. And with the surf contest over, Pip and a transformed Freddie are back in their ordinary world, doing what they love the most, which is making babies happy. So even though he didn't save the world, he made one baby happy, and now the world's a better place. Yeah. And so that is the hero's journey for this show, T.O.T.S.
Yeah.
And I think it's really fun to see how it doesn't matter if you're saving the world or winning a trophy. It's the same beats.
Yeah.
What did you think of that? Like that breakdown?
Yeah, I just like this because I'm always puzzled how to write a very simple but clear children's story.
Yeah.
And I always make it very complicated.
Yes. Well, and this show made 150 episodes, 3 seasons, and this episode is in the middle. I wrote it in the middle of season 2. You didn't have to see any other episode to understand this. You saw this, and you understand the story.
Yeah.
And that's what's great is that you just see it, you get it, and it's very simple ideas.
Yeah.
And so so now I'd like to show you another example of a show that's even a little bit younger than T.O.T.S. That still follows the hero's journey. And so this show, do you know CoComelon? Have you heard of it?
No.
This one here, CoComelon?
No.
No? So CoComelon is nursery rhymes for children. And so it was created first on YouTube in the 2000s in America. And it's very gentle songs for babies.
I'm just more familiar with Mother Goose.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to show you first a clip of CoComelon.
Is that traditional one or the modern one?
What's that?
The
CoComelon?
CoComelon.
It's very modern right now. It's very, very popular. Every parent with a baby knows CoComelon. In America, it's #1 on Netflix. Yeah, and so I'll just show you just so you have an idea.
When was it released?
Well, the CoComelon is 3 minutes long, and each song is 3 minutes. And they have hundreds and hundreds. So there's new ones this year. And there's ones last year, the year before, the year before. It's many years now. So they have a lot of episodes.
Yeah. So more than 10 years or?
Yes. Yeah. Because like over 10 years ago, there was a creators in Los Angeles that made this, a husband and wife, and they made these little characters on YouTube. And it grew and grew and grew, and it gets billions of views every month. And they sold it to a company. And then Netflix picked it up. And so they took their idea and they bought it, and they keep making more and more little nursery rhymes for kids. And this is the main character. It's like a Mickey Mouse for CoComelon. This is the main character. So I didn't make this.
Bingo and the 3 castles.
But, just as an idea.
Once upon a time on a sandy beach, there were 3 little kids. 1, 2, 3. Wanted to build 3
very gentle song. And if you notice, it's singing, and there's the kids laughing. But there's no talking. It's just singing. So.
Bingo wanted to play. The first little kid built a castle made of sand. Bingo wanted to help with the plan. Little kid, can I play?
So they have songs like this, but for taking a bath, for brushing your teeth, for eating vegetables, everything, And this is a song about playing on the beach, right? So that's CoComelon. Now, the company that bought it is called Moonbug, and Moonbug worked with Netflix to put CoComelon on Netflix. So they put those episodes for like an hour on Netflix. And it went to #1 because parents love it, right?
Yeah.
So then Moonbug saw the success, and Netflix saw the success of CoComelon for babies, and said, let's make CoComelon for older kids, and make them a little older, and talk, and right. And so this is another lecture we'll talk about how this show got created, like the process. But I pitched an idea with my partner on how to take those characters and create a new show, and they said yes to our idea, and so we made CoComelon Lane, which is the older version of the show. So this is a show that I co-created.
Wow.
And the episodes are 7 minutes long.
Yeah.
And so it went from 3 minutes of like a nursery rhyme to 7 minutes of a real story with the characters talking and singing, and we used the hero's journey for that episode. And so
it's just a separate play.
Yes, every episode is separate, but it's about these kids.
So how many episodes do you have now?
72.
70. You know, I used to be an English teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just, you know, I worked for the institute, and I also I'm also a researcher.
Okay.
You know, I help the teachers to find the right teaching material.
Okay.
Yeah. Teach them the teaching methods.
Yeah.
And I think we can use your episode to learn English.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because nowadays drama is more and more popular amongst school students. Every school just like such kind of things.
Yes.
Yeah, but we can use this to teach English because my son when he was only 1 year old, and he listened to Mother Goose, and he didn't know English at all, but he could sing the whole song. Very, very difficult things.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's very effective.
Yes, we do the same thing for my daughter, who's a year and a half, and we show her Spanish because her mom is Spanish.
Yeah.
So, because she'll learn English being in the U.S.
Yeah.
But Spanish we teach her at home, and so it's always songs that they learn first.
Yeah.
Because they can, it sticks in their brain, and they start to say the words even if they don't know what it means, but they can sing along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a drama team. It's a multi-language drama team.
Okay.
In primary school. And I just give children French songs, German songs.
Yeah.
Within 1 week, they can sing the song.
Yeah.
They even do not know the letters.
It's the power of music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's so funny. It's very true. It's very true. And it's a great language learning because it's very simple. Yeah.
Because our school is one of the multi-language alliance. Yeah. So I just want to show them how effective drama is, how effective things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah. I think maybe later we can do a lot of things.
Please. Yes. Yeah. So we made 72 episodes, and so it released on Netflix last year, and it went to #1 in kids.
Wow.
So the CoComelon is so popular, but the fact that we made it older, and I'll show you, it really resonated with kids, and I think it's the older kids, because older kids don't want to hear the nursery rhymes anymore. They want a little bit more, and we were able to go a little deeper with the stories, and so I think we came up with a show structure that works because it's the hero's journey. And so I think that we hit on something with that, and we did 72 episodes and 3 half-hour specials. So we made even bigger ones, and they're still releasing the episodes into next year.
Yeah.
So I'm done with the show, but they're still coming out.
Wow, great.
And so I'd like to show you an episode so you could see, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. My older son just learned English through Disney cartoons, and also there is a teaching material called Magic English. They just draw some parts from Disney cartoons, and then make it, several lessons, maybe 26 lessons.
Wow.
So
okay.
it's very, very funny. So he just learned English. He watched it every day, and he learned English by himself.
That's
and
amazing.
He didn't spend so much time on English, but he won a lot of national champions. So
That's amazing. Huh.
So he is a good example. That's why I just become a theater teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, I see how effective. But I used to be just a common English teacher.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Great. Great. Yeah. This is so okay. So this episode is 7 minutes, so it's a little bit shorter than T.O.T.S, which was 11 minutes.
Yeah.
But you could still use structure. So.
Hey, it's me, JJ. It's a great day on CoComelon Lane, and it's so nice to meet ya. It's a great day on CoComelon Lane. Come on, there's so much to see ya. You and me, family. It's gonna be a great day on CoComelon Lane. CoComelon!
Good teaching material for kids.
Yeah. Why do you think that?
Yeah, because we just, I used to do a lot of research in the publishers. Yeah, international publishers. Yeah. Okay. But they just have leveled readers, and the information level readers can offer is quite limited. Yeah, because just a few pages. Yeah, but this is so informative. Yeah, because when I first went to America, I could talk about literature easily, or things academic very easily, but I struggled with everyday English. I do not know how to say this and how to say that, and I also had a lot of problems when I do shopping. Yeah, so yeah, I think we just can't find such kind of things in our textbook. The textbook is not very useful and contains a lot of Chinglish. And for primary school kids, they only have one English class each week. It's not enough. Yeah. So children just need very good and very, very interesting teaching material, and this is a really good way. And I think you can sell it to the publishers.
Interesting. Well, I remember when I was a kid learning to type on a computer, and I had like a typing, almost like a typing textbook, where I had to type the textbook, and I hated it. But when I started playing games on the computer, I learned really quick. Because it was fun, interesting learning method. Yeah. Just like you're saying. And so sometimes the textbooks, they don't sink in, but if you can watch something and a story and you just absorb it a different way. Yeah. That's a great idea. And yeah.
And if children can use this to learn English, it's really effective way, and it can save their parents a lot of time. Because English teaching in China is really, really time consuming. Parents do not know how to teach their kids. They they spend a lot of money having English classes. But they can learn very little, and they may forget soon.
Yes, this is more at their level. What they could learn. Okay.
Yeah, and you can also make a lot of money. If children use it to learn English, you can certainly make a lot of money. Because for textbooks, it's very profitable.
That sounds amazing. Yeah. Okay. Gosh.
Yeah, I will go back to talk to my to my director, because I'm a researcher at Children's Language Research Center.
Yes.
Yeah, and we just, encourage students to read more, and
yes.
we also design courses. And I think I will just introduce this to my director.
Please.
And if she is interested, and maybe because we are English college from from Beijing Foreign Studies University, and we are the only children's language research center in China. And Beijing Foreign Studies University is also the most prestigious one in language learning.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Great. And so now, I don't know if you saw some of the hero's journey beats in that story too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the ordinary world, what did you think that one was?
The ordinary world is, kids' daily life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's the kids just playing on the playground. Yeah. And so we see, it's a safe, familiar place. The world feels fun, predictable, and very secure.
Yeah.
So it's like their normal daily life in a kid, in the life of a kid. And then the call to adventure. So for this show, the call to adventure is JJ telling the audience what he's going to do. So he goes, today I'm going to give my dog a bath. And the reason it's an adventure, it's because he's never done it before. It's his first time.
Yeah.
He says, usually my dad does it, but today I get to help him. So for a kid, giving your dog a bath is a big deal.
Yeah.
That is an adventure.
Yeah.
And so that's an example of like making the challenge match the hero. So if it's just a little boy, doesn't have to save the world.
Yeah.
It's just giving his dog a bath, but that's a big adventure.
Yeah.
So normally the hero says no after that.
Yeah.
So here, the refusal isn't a no, but he feels curious and a little uncertain about it. And so what does he do? He uses his ladybug light to imagine what it's going to be like. So in what we did in this series and in every episode, they do that and they use their imagination. And then that's when you see the kids like washing the different animals with like one has wings, one is a bar of soap. It's their imagination.
It's just like a production line, assembly line.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so they, because they don't know what the adventure is going to be like, they're acting it out in their imagination.
Yeah.
And so that means that they're a little unsure about it. And so then they meet the mentor, which is very clearly his dad.
Yeah.
So his dad literally calls out to him and says, it's time to go. And so they were in their imagination. And then as soon as we heard their dad's voice, imagination went away.
Yeah.
And he says, let's go. And so JJ is now, because his father, which is his mentor, comes into the story, he feels confident that he could leave now to go wash his dog.
Yeah.
And so crossing the threshold, so now he's going to a new place. So he waves goodbye to his friends, which is his ordinary world. And he leaves the playground behind, taking his first steps into the unknown. And so he sings that song, about to do something new, about to do something. They sing that every episode for a different adventure. But it's always something new.
Yeah.
And so they sing that same song. And so that means we're going into the uncertain, unfamiliar world to a kid.
Yeah.
And so when you leave home and you're in a new place, you are tested, you make friends, and you make enemies. So for this episode, The ally, the new friend, is the veterinarian. And she gives them, the heroes, the supplies. Soap, shampoo, bathtub. So this is what they need to have a successful adventure. JJ's enemy is his dog, because he's going to make it hard for him to take a bath. If the dog said, sure, give me a bath, there'd be no adventure. It'd be too easy. So the hero has to struggle to learn something. And so, and that's what the test is. He keeps trying. Dog runs away. He tries. He's like, I'm frustrated. Dog's not listening to me. So that means he needs a new approach or a new plan. And this is why the hero has a mentor. Because the mentor is going to say, okay, here's what you should do. So his dad sits him down and he says, JJ's having trouble giving Bingo a bath. But thanks to his dad, who is his mentor, JJ's taught a new skill. So he's like, if the dog's not listening to you, try turning bath time into a game. So his dad's like changing his thinking a little bit. You know? And so, okay, so the ordeal. So this is the toughest part of a hero's journey, where they really go through a hard time. So JJ is trying to figure it out, and he starts thinking it through like, oh, well, maybe, he likes to fetch the stick. So he throws the stick into the bathtub, and the dog jumps in the bathtub. And he wants to rub his belly, or wash his belly. So he goes, oh, I'll give you a belly rub. And he washes him with the soap. So now he's starting to go through the process of growing and learning to think about this problem in a new way.
That's problem solving ability.
Yes, problem solving, exactly. Exactly. And so that's his biggest challenge. And he successfully gets his dog clean. So it works. So while these moments might seem simple, of course, again, to a preschooler, this is a big deal. Now, after the ordeal, in the hero's journey, the hero always gets a reward. So the reward here is a small but meaningful reward. He gets a lick from his dog. And that's a big deal. And it's not just a lick. The reward reinforces positive behavior and confidence. Because remember, in the beginning, he was chasing his dog. The dog wasn't listening. Now him and the dog are like this. And the lick symbolizes that the relationship is good again. And that's the reward. The road back. So back to the ordinary world. But JJ has a new sense of achievement. He tells his friends. So his familiar routine takes on a new meaning. He's brought back with him a new skill, which is, we know the next time he's going to give his dog a bath, he's going to know how to do it. So now the resurrection, the hero is the fully transformed version of themselves. So what that looks like, JJ tells his friends all about bath time. And even teaches them to do the puppy shake. So that's like the shake, right? Shake the water off you. And so they do it too, right? They all do the puppy shake together. But really, he's demonstrating his confidence as a teacher. He knows what to do the next time he's faced with that test. So if you remember, in the beginning, he didn't know what to do. He's never done it. He was frustrated. Now he went back to the playground and he's teaching his friends. So now he's a teacher. So he's bringing that knowledge back to the world.
And for young children, they just when they are confronted with a difficulty, they're easy to give up. Get frustrated and give up. So it's also, an encouragement.
Absolutely.
To kids.
Absolutely. So then the final step, which is the return with the elixir. So the fully transformed JJ addresses the audience. So he talks to the camera. And he tells us that he's completed his adventure. So now he can return to his ordinary world, modeling resilience and courage for young viewers watching at home. So just what you said. So his connection with the audience at home is him bridging that learning. And that's how he's making the world a better place. as the hero by giving and sharing that knowledge.
Yeah.
And so that is, we didn't talk about Star Wars, Harry Potter, but T.O.T.S, CoComelon Lane, or Harry Potter. So one is a movie, one is an animated show that's 11 minutes. CoComelon Lane is 7 minutes for a little younger than T.O.T.S, but they all have a similar structure. And that's the hero's journey. And so it doesn't matter if you're, like we talked about, trying to save the world, or you're trying to give your dog a bath, or using your best friend as a surfboard.
Yeah.
All these things incorporate the hero's journey, and they still feel totally different shows.
Yeah.
And I think that's because the steps of the hero's journey are really about the human experience. And so they could really be used for theater, short films, whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm always asked to write a 8 minutes play or 6 minutes play. So, that's not enough.
Yes.
How can I tell the whole story? Yeah, but if I follow this,
you can.
This procedure is very clear.
Yeah. I see sometimes the short is a good challenge because it's hard. Because like you said, you need more time, but there's always a way to do it. Yeah. Sometimes like the time between the steps can be short.
Yeah.
Like it could be short, like the hero's journey, like step 1, step 2, step 3, they could be close together, but they're still there.
Yeah.
And so like, in T.O.T.S where they're at the nursery and they're playing with the baby, and then they land on the island and they get invited to the surf contest. Yeah. Well, there's like a whole song in there where they leave, they fly, they sing "Bringing This Baby Home," right? Yeah. So the time between Ordinary World and Call to Adventure is actually kind of far apart. Yeah. But in CoComelon Lane, Ordinary World, JJ looks at the camera, tells us what's going to happen. So step 1, step 2 are close. So it just depends on the length of time you have. Yeah. But sometimes the steps could be close or like this, but they still are there. Yeah. And so I think you could definitely do it. 6 minutes, you could do it. Yeah. And so, and that's the beauty, is that the shared structure bridges vastly different worlds. So all these are very different. And so that reminds us that storytelling is about transformation, resilience, and the hero's courage to grow. So in 6 minutes, how can you tell someone's growth? That's kind of the seed. Yeah. And so that's why it works for heroes of all ages. And so thank you. So
thank you so much.
That was the lecture about structure and using that tool, any kind of story you want to tell.